SFL Nation, welcome to the show. This is the SFL postgame show from Wednesday Night Football on the SFL Network. Let's recap what happened tonight before we open up the line. Tallahassee beats Minneapolis on 5 field goals from newcomer Bo Davis. His previous career high of field goals in a game was 4. That was also against the Maulers. DC defeats Carolina 40-14. This one was hardly ever close. Deion Hawkins' debut, 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. It is the largest victory for DC in franchise history. Orlando had to hold on to take down the Oklahoma City Renegades 20-17, and it was led by an effort really by the team defense as a whole. And Orlando wins their first season opener in over 2 years. If you were a player, coach, or owner tonight who was in action, give us a call, one at a time. 210-473-8428 is the number. We'll get you on the call and get your reactions here on the SFL postgame show on the SFL Network on Twitch.tv. What a night, another night of close games. A lot of defense out there tonight, except for Carolina. The DC Dragon offense looked tremendous. I have a 717 area code calling the show. You are on the SFL postgame show. Who do I have?
You got Doug Bose.
Mr. Bose, rough night. That Tallahassee defense was all over the field. How is your body feeling after taking all those hits tonight?
The aches and pains are real.
Doug, this team has lost 3 in a row, dating back to last season. What does the offense have to do to get your spark back?
If you can't beat a team with 5 field goals on the other side, we have serious issues. We have serious problems. We need to get back to the drawing board and make things happen here.
24 touches total, 125 yards. That's about 5 yards a touch. What was Tallahassee doing specifically to knock you off your game tonight?
They were shedding blockers. They were swarming all over the place. I mean, every time I put my head up there, they were cracking me in the face, punching me in the mouth. I can't do it by myself out there.
You know what it's like to be a rookie. Mac Wavy Jr. had a rough second half, 4 picks all in that second half. What do you tell the kid after the game to keep his head up?
As soon as I hang up with you, I'm going to be getting together with Mac. We're going to be going over some game film, and we're just going to get him focused for next week.
What impressed you most about Tallahassee's defense? Their secondary was very good, but they also didn't miss a lot of tackles either, although you did have a few big stiff arms out there as usual.
Yeah, the secondary's phenomenal. That's clearly going to be the strength of that team this year. You want to beat Tallahassee, I would say run the football, something we didn't do too much of tonight.
You were an offensive coordinator in OKC last year. They lose tonight, put up 17 points. I know you haven't gotten to see a lot of or any of the film yet on how the Renegades did tonight, but your thoughts on their opening season loss?
Well, I want to wish Michael Irvine and the Renegades the best. 17 points, even though I'm not there, that's disappointing for that team. They have a lot of talent over there. Plain and simple, he's got to get Bovine involved.
I know you don't like to be outdone. Deion Hawkins outdid you tonight, as did Dwayne Lane. How do you focus some of that anger and frustration into week 2 against Santa Fe, who looks very, very good?
Well, we got to get this game plan together. We can't be effective with this game plan, and all I can do is what the coaches ask of me. And as of right now, 3 straight losses. I think the game plan's not working.
Appreciate your time, Doug.
All right, take care.
That was Doug Bose, Minneapolis Smaller running back. Open line now, 210-473-8428 on the SFL postgame show. Tallahassee wins 15-13. DC takes out Carolina 40-14. And Orlando edges OKC 20-17. 210-473-8428. We want to get your thoughts if you were a player, coach, or owner on the field tonight. 918 area code. You are on the SFL postgame show. Who do I got?
DC Dragons.
And who am I speaking with?
This is Deion. Jeff.
Oh, Deion Hawkins.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, you were the player and everything else, the whipped cream, the cherry, all that good stuff on the scoring Sunday for the DC Dragons.
Yeah.
Man, you want to talk about making a debut? That is how to make a debut. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, it came up a little short of my expectations of myself, but I'll take it. As long as my team wins, that's all it's about. I'll take 10 yards. If we win, I'm trying to get the ring at the end. So, man, it was pretty good by my whole team all around. We came through and did what we were supposed to. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
DC was ranked 11th in the preseason standings. I'm sure you know better than I do. What was Carolina? Do you remember?
No, I have no idea. I think they was a little bit ahead of us, but 11 is way too low for us. But I understand with all the new faces, even though we players on the team, but we don't even know what it's really going to look like. So I'll shout out to the coordinator and, of course, Destro bringing it all together. And it's only step one, but we're moving forward from here.
You know, you replace a guy, Richard Snowden, who passed away over the summer, and a lot of heavy hearts in D.C. But you did your best to make people forget about him on the field very
Right.
quickly. I mean, 3 touchdowns in the opening quarter. What was it like, sort of stepping into that role for a player that was beloved in the league and to be in the spotlight as you were tonight?
All right. Yeah, it felt good. I knew it was going to be a challenge because I went back and looked at all the videos, and from the looks of it, Snowden was a beast. So I was kind of nervous myself, thinking how I'm going to step in and fill this spot of an SFL legend. But I feel pretty good about it, so it's always good to start off on top, and hopefully we just keep the momentum going. And I'm going to do my best to dedicate the season to Mr. Snowden because he was a beast.
When
And may you rest in peace.
when Carolina scored those 2 touchdowns, cut it to a 13-point game, was the offense a little worried at all that you had lost a little momentum there?
Nah, we wasn't worried at all because we know what we can do. And, I mean, of course, it's football. It's back and forth. That's the nature of the game. But we got confidence in ourselves. Our defense stepped up after they let us touchdowns. They stepped up, caught picks, making good tackles. So, no, we only worry about ourselves, nobody else.
DC joins Queen City and Dallas at the top of the Gray Conference standings. What did if you had a chance to check out what they did Sunday night, did you see anything good out of them, and what did you like most about their victories?
Yeah, Queen City, they some beasts. I can tell they did defend the champions for a reason. They was down the whole time, and then they came storming back. Dallas looked like they got a pretty good setup, especially with the receivers. So I actually grew up in Dallas, so I'm kind of partial to Dallas. So I'm checking them out every now and then. But, yeah, they all look nice, and it's going to be an interesting race for sure. I think like we got the toughest division as well.
What got into Thomas Wilson tonight? He defends 5 passes and picks that ball off in traffic. I mean, we can easily talk about your performance and Cody Cantrell's efficient night and everything that goes along with it, but your defense was outstanding. What was their emotion like on the field and on the sideline tonight?
Yeah, the defense came through. I know the defense was kind of salty because they're like that 11th ranking. We knew that's definitely not good enough for us. Everybody wondering about our offense, but our defense came through. Peterson, Wilson, forget about John Snow, protector of the North with the interception. He came in the check kind of late, but he hopped in and came through and got a big stop for us. So I know our defense was ready to go and prove everybody wrong in the league.
This is the third season of the DC Dragons, and you are a part of the largest victory in franchise history. How does that feel?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I was checking all the teams out when I first came in. The free agency, didn't really know what was going on. Talked to a few teams, so I'm glad I ended up in DC. It seemed like home.
How did you find out about the SFL? I believe this is our first time talking together, you and I, and I know that when players first get here, it's a wide-eyed new place to be. How did you find us, and eventually, what is your story and how you ended up in DC?
Well, I found it through Bleacher Report, probably an hour or two after it came out. I had recently broke my arm right before I found the league. I play football, so I was just sitting around the house not doing anything all day. Came across the article, read it, looked up some videos, and I joined instantly. Like, I don't know if you remember, I was one of the first ones who got picked up out of that rookie free agent craziness that happened
Right.
over a couple of weeks. And with DC, Destro, he hit me up. We talked, long interview process, trying to find out if it was a good fit. And I had a couple of other offers, but this is the best one for me, and I'm happy to be with DC.
You said you played football. Of course you play football. You just ran for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight.
Right.
Dion, anything else to add on the victory tonight? Any shout-outs?
I just want to shout out the whole league. I'm happy to be a part. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the YouTube checking out the videos. Everybody seemed pretty cool with the trash talking, and it seemed like we were family. So shout out to everybody, and of course DC Dragons. We taking the ship.
Thank you, Dion. I appreciate the time.
All right, holla at you.
Deion Hawkins, the running back of the DC Dragons. Open line now, 210-473-8428. We've heard from a couple of running backs so far tonight. Doug Bose for Minneapolis, Deion Hawkins for DC. Would like to get somebody from the winning Tallahassee Pride. They pull probably the biggest upset of the season so far. But right now, 865, I believe we have Maurice Spurgeon on the show. Maurice, you are on the SFL Postgame Show. Maurice, you with us?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, tough night, man, and it's hard to put a finger on exactly what went down with the defense tonight. If you don't mind, try and paint that picture for us of what you saw.
Too many missed tackles, not capitalizing on interceptions, just sloppy play. But it's the first week, and we all saw last season Louisville got absolutely ran over the first game of the season, but they wound up sweeping everybody. So I'm not going to take it to heart per se. Obviously, there are things we definitely need to improve, both on offense and on defense, and, it is what it is. But I'm a little irritated about the fact that my team lost, but now I think about it, we played a lot better in the second half. Like, the score doesn't say so, but we played a lot better in the second half.
Yeah, this game was 24-0, and after that surge from Deion Hawkins, it was a 16-14 game, and Carolina sort of settled into their own and started to play a little bit better. But back to the week one talk about Louisville getting blasted the last couple of seasons in week one, and then them able to turn it around. I mean, how DC is one of the newest teams, newest personnel, newest mentality. They have a new head coach. They're just a whole different animal to deal with, an unknown animal. I mean, how was Carolina's defense supposed to scout Deion Hawkins and figure out what made him tick? That was a tough matchup tonight.
Yeah, it was, but we'll recover from it. We'll be all right. Our goal is, it's a week-by-week thing. It's not – season isn't defined by one game. It's defined by the whole season. So we just got to play much better from this point out. And I have the utmost faith in my coaches and my coordinators to put us in the right position. Now, they can put us in the right position. We just got to make the plays. Shout out to DC. They're a hell of a team. Much respect to them. It was good games all around this week one. Looking forward to that Baltimore-Louisville game tomorrow. Yeah.
Carolina, I know that they're on offense wanting to open up, throw the ball more. Monroe had a pretty good game. He got a little interception happy, but DC also made some tremendous plays that typically aren't interceptions and just incomplete passes. But Johnny English just 14 carries tonight. I know that Carolina was trailing much of the way, but any thoughts on English and maybe the need to get him more involved again?
I think, on one hand you have to consider we were trailing, so that played a part into it. I mean, but when you looked at how many yards he was averaging every time he ran the football, he was getting his yards. He was getting a good average. I think it's just like there were a few times where our receivers were in the position to make a play, but it just didn't happen. So that's going to get cleaned up. That's just something you just got to work with. But we've got to have a bounce back week against New York. That just keep playing week by week, and just got to play some team ball.
Yeah, you've had some pretty good games in the spotlight, and that Carolina NYC game next week, Sunday Night Football on the main network. big game as neither team wants to go 0-2, but that my memory of you in the spotlight game was getting that concussion and coming back in and getting that interception at the end of the game. So it's a bit of a short week for you guys. NYC has a whole week to prepare. You guys have a quick turnaround and how to adjust to the Sailors for week 2. So how do you do that? What have you seen out of the Sailors, and what does the defense hope to most accomplish on Sunday?
See, what we're hoping to most accomplish is to just, get after them, put pressure on Carter Peters and, limit Sultan Muhammad in their offense. And what we need to work on is just taking more getting more opportunities, whether it's catching more interceptions or knocking out a pass or being in the right place. That stuff that'll get cleaned up. I have faith in my team. I know we'll bounce back, and it's just I trust the people on my team that are going to do the scouting and everything. And I know we can bounce back from this. It was just I think we honestly need this more than anything else, because I feel like if we just blasted them, then who's to say when we go up against an already established team that we don't get shell-shocked like that, So I'm glad, what they say, it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get back up.
Maurice, you're a class act. It was a tough loss tonight. You still called in. That's what I call setting an example. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, Cam.
All right, open line now, 210-473-8428. That was Maurice Spurgeon, cornerback for the Carolina Skyhawks, suffering their 40-14 defeat. If you've tried calling in and haven't been able to get through, we now have an open line, so please give us a ring. Orlando improves to 1-0, as does Tallahassee. So if you think about it, no team from the West Division has won a game yet this season. Los Angeles and Sioux Falls, the winner of that, will be the first. 952, you are on the SFL Postgame Show. Who do I have?
This is Cody Cantrell, quarterback, DC Dragons.
Mr. Cantrell, what a night. The spotlight wasn't on you per se, but are you all right with that?
No, it's completely fine by me. As long as the team's winning, that's all that matters to me.
Deion Hawkins, nobody is talking about this guy in the preseason, during the offseason. There was just no chatter about what Deion Hawkins would bring to this team. How long have you known that he was going to be a special player, and what did he prove tonight?
I knew Deion was going to be a special player the moment I met him. I think long term our offense is going to be scary. We're going to have plenty of options, and Deion, my opinion, proved himself tonight, and he certainly put the league on notice.
You had P.T. Peterson's number called quite often tonight. 5 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. And believe it or not, that's the best receiving performance of anyone across the league tonight. What's your relationship like with P.T.? And, he ran a great route there on the outside on that touchdown.
Yeah, me and PT got a great connection. We should have good chemistry, and I think I wasn't aware that he had the best numbers put up, but PT did a good job getting himself open, and I made sure to get him the ball when he did. So, it's nice to start developing chemistry that early on with one of your receivers, just being our first game. So, it's good knowing that going forward.
Queen City's also atop the division with you. A lot of other good close battles tonight. Did you have any chance to catch any action elsewhere while you were sitting on the bench drinking a Gatorade up by 20?
No, I was just focused on our game. It's the SFL, anything can happen, and even though we're up 20, I'm not comfortable enough with that. That's not to my standards, and the moment you get comfortable in this league, that's the moment teams are going to take you. So, I was completely focused on our game and making sure we did everything right. So,
What
That's
was
about
your
it.
what was your journey like at the SFL? I'll give you the same question I gave Hawkins because you were picked relatively early in the draft. I think people may have been a little surprised that DC was not only moving away from Zach Zulli, who had brought them a title, but was also giving sort of the keys to the car to a rookie quarterback and putting him back there as a gold. 21 of 27. He had the one pick that Tony Willis jumped the route on, but otherwise. I think proved your worth tonight. What was that process like, getting the confidence of Jermaine Smith and the rest of the DC staff?
The minute I entered the draft, Jermaine showed interest in me right away. We had we contacted each other a number of times. We had good conversations, and I think we both knew it was just a good fit overall for what we both were trying to accomplish and get done. So, I don't want to say I knew pretty early on which team I was going to because you never know how the draft would pan out, but I was fairly confident going into the draft that was the team I was going to end up on, and I didn't. I can't be any more happier to be there.
Any relation to Jon Snow?
No.
Oh, because my caller ID here, CC Snow, and I thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just I use my initials, and then as corny as it is, since I live in Minnesota, I just use Snow.
Well, there you go. Well, Mr. Snow, your teammate had that interception tonight. Your defense got you 4 picks tonight. What was your favorite interception?
I can't pick a favorite. All of them. My defense played tremendous tonight, and as long as I keep that up the rest of the season, which I have no doubts they can, or whatever, we're going to be a scary team. So, being ranked 11th, I think all of us, like Deanna said, that wasn't good enough for us. We're out to prove something to the league. So, my defense did a great job and good game for them.
Louisville plays tomorrow. I believe you guys have the Wolfpack at home in week 2. Some heavy scouting tomorrow, I'm guessing?
Yeah, of course. Just can't rest on our laurels. We got to get right back on it and prepare for the next game and hopefully come away with a win on that one as well.
All right, Cody, thanks so much, and good luck on the rest of your rookie season.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Cody Cantrell, quarterback of the DC Dragons. Open line now, 210-473-8428. We're coming down on the end of the show, and we want to hear from you. We've heard from Deion Hawkins, Cody Cantrell, Doug Bose, and Maurice Spurgeon so far, and we've got time for a couple of callers left on the post-game show. Been a good post-game show tonight. Orlando, DC, Tallahassee, all home teams get the wins. DC easily gets the biggest rout of the season so far. 6 games in the books, 2 more to come. Los Angeles takes on Sioux Falls Thursday. That's tomorrow, along with Baltimore and Louisville. 828, you're on the SFL postgame show. Who do I have?
James Klein.
Hey, James. Hey, make sure you got the show muted behind you so we don't get an echo.
Yeah, I did.
All right, there you go. Good deal. Well, tough night for your Skyhawks. A bit surprised myself to see DC storm out to the big league that they did. Similar question to Maurice Spurgeon, because I wonder how much it has to do with it. How much was Carolina able to even think about DC heading into week 1, because we didn't really know what they had?
Yeah, it's hard to scout a brand new team, and I feel that our guys have worked hard this summer to prepare. One game's not going to define us. I'm sure we'll make some adjustments that needs to be made.
Yeah, sometimes games just get away from teams. We've seen that in the SFL before. As I brought up earlier, 24-0 early, but after that, 12, 13 minutes of insanity out of Deion Hawkins, because that's basically what it was. Carolina really settled down. Monroe found a rhythm. He started to throw the footballs all around the field, and he kept it together um, at least there for a while. Once the team sort of settled down, did you see some potential there, or all the way around? Do you think Carolina needs big changes here on a short week against the Sailors?
Well, I know that I've talked to my coordinators the last couple of days. We've been basically texting and using Slack, but they're prepared for next week already. We as soon as we got some information on the Sailors, we went to work. So hopefully they got their game plans getting close to being ready, and maybe we'll see a different outcome.
James, any thoughts on the Sailors, your next opponent?
Well, I mean, any given Sunday is what I'll say. So, I feel that we'll be all right, but, they're a good team too, so we'll just do our best.
It'll be nice to be back home too. You guys have played very well at home since moving to Raleigh.
Yeah, I think we've had more success, in front of our fans. And, we have a lot of new players on our team too, and they may have had some jitters tonight, but there was a lot of drop balls, so that tells me maybe their focus wasn't there.
All right, James, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Man, I am loving the good sportsmanship around this league. Open line, we're running out of time here on the SFL postgame show. Love the activity and involvement, and we want to run through things one more time. Coming up tomorrow night, Baltimore takes on Louisville. That is the spotlight game. That is the game everyone's going to be talking about. But a big Western Division battle as well. Los Angeles hosts Sioux Falls. The winner of that game will be solely atop the West Division heading into Week 2. And, of course, Los Angeles has another divisional battle in Week 2 coming up and against at Oklahoma City in back-to-back divisional games. 9:04, you are our last caller of the night. Who do we have? 9:04. I got you?
Yeah.
All right, who do I have on with me?
Oh, this is Coach Frank Gooden.
Oh, okay, Mr. Frank, you were worrying me there for a minute. I thought I was talking to a mime. But you're just in shock. Bo Slip and Slide Davis. I've never understood the nickname, but he goes 5 for 5 on the night, and you beat the Maulers. I found it very interesting. That on Inside the SFL there was a lot of talk about the potential for this to be a very low-scoring game, and Alan J.D. and some others, I think they hit it on the nose tonight.
They really did, and truly I didn't expect it. I honestly thought that we'd be able to put a few more points on the board, and, those goal line stands. I mean, the Maulers really showed up tonight defensively, and, it turned into exactly that. And talk about, grinding it all the way down to the end. Hats off to the Maulers, and I'm really proud of the way the boys played tonight.
I got to talk to you about your goal line offense, man. I mean, you obviously know that can't continue to cut it, but at the same time, if just 2 of those were punched in for touchdowns, this game is a 2-possession game by the end of it. What has to change there?
Well, I'll go in and tinker with the offense for sure so that we can try to convert goal line opportunities. But you got to understand, we've been hyping up the Purple Rain defense for a reason, and we feel really confident that, even if we don't score touchdowns every time, that D is going to hold us down, and they really did tonight. So we'll tinker with it, but, you saw how we play. We play like that, and that's how we're going to get wins.
Jax Diamond, Grayson Rivers, Ethan King, A.J. Barnes. Even though A.J. Barnes didn't have a pick tonight, that secondary was just playing out of this world, and something seems to be, I will say, predictable about the Mauler offense. Did you feel like you could game plan for Minneapolis in Week 1? Because it's a very similar problem that they had last year in their season finale against Baltimore.
Yeah, I do believe that maybe we had a very small edge game planning. It seemed like they didn't change up a whole lot offensively. So we felt like last season was we had some really good looks at how they might plan to attack us. And offensively, they really didn't surprise us. They got a big play for a touchdown over the middle where they just called a slipping. That was a great call on the game that you made. And, for the most part, we felt like we had them on the flip side. Since we changed so much offensively, we felt like they really didn't have a beat on how we might, our plan of attack. So, sure enough, that turned out that slightest of edges there may have been the difference.
Coach Gooden, I'm a journalist. I chase the story, and there's no question that there was some rumblings on your sideline, even just before kickoff. How did you rally the troops after a little small dust up there as the nerves were starting to get the better of some of your players?
Yeah, I mean, it's our home opener, and the tensions are up, emotions are high. The trash talk and the smack talk gets up a little bit, and it's easy for things to get out of control when so much is at stake. For me, it was just a matter of settling down the squad as much as I could, and just trying to let them know that cooler heads should prevail here. Let's use this opportunity to come together and put it all out on the field. And I believe they did it, and I'm hoping, you never know, but I'm hoping we continue down that path.
Needless to say, I think the locker room has much brighter spirits tonight. You just beat the number 2 team in the preseason rankings. That doesn't happen every day.
Hats off to the Maulers. I mean, they are perennial pro here with the team. Just great game. Yeah, I appreciate, just type it up. Appreciate them actually, giving us the game and leaving it all on the field. They're a class act too. All of their players are really being really classy with the game and with the results. So just nothing but respect for that entire organization.
Coach Gooden, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, one last call. I know the DC owner, Jermaine Smith, wanted to get in on the call, so we'll leave the line open for him and get him in just right quickly here. A bonus call on the SFL Network's post-game show. Once again, tomorrow night, you won't want to miss it. 2 big games, a divisional battle out west, Sioux Falls and Los Angeles. It's the Sharks home opener, and also Louisville hosts Baltimore. The 2 teams that have never missed the playoffs will clash for the first time. Mr. Smith, we finally have you on. Welcome to the post-game show.
Oh, thank you very much. I was about to say.
Hey,
I got a little nervous for a hot moment.
This is a tough show to get on, man.
Yeah, I'm number one priority. I'm just teasing. I'm messing with you.
Well, hey, it's easy. It's easy to think to feel that way after putting up 40 on the board. I'm sure you had high expectations for your team. I'm sure you took offense to the preseason ranking, but did you expect a 40-14 outcome tonight?
No, I expected it to be a lot close. I knew we had some issues with our playbook, and I was concerned about that while I was, today, and I was okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and the defense showed up. Unfortunately, I was at work, and I was going in and out of the game, and I saw the stats. We had 4 picks, so I'm very proud of our defense for putting in that work, and I'm want to give a shout out to the offensive line for blocking for Deion Hawkins. He put in work today. The quarterback, Commander Cody, the Dark Lord gave him command, execute Order 66, and he did so. And so he put in that work, and so that's all I can ask for.
Commander Cody, I like that.
That's right. And I want to give a shout out to the coach, Mark Chisholm. He put in work, and I expect beatdowns like this every week, giving out beatdowns every week.
Deion Hawkins, man, 264 yards, 31 carries, 3 touchdowns, and it was just the way that he was running tonight. I mean, he was spinning to avoid tackles. He was sidestepping to miss defenders. He seemed to have just a complete package and really stepped in Richard Snowden's departure. in all of the practices and training sessions that you've seen out of your guys, did you fully expect that for Deion Hawkins to burst onto the scene like this tonight, or did he exceed your expectations?
I expected for him to do what he did tonight. Put in the right plays, and we put in the right plays, and he showed out tonight, and this is all I expected. We knew how to attack Carolina, and I said, okay, let's go ahead and put in that work, and he's going to execute, and he did.
You moved across town into Lord Destro Productions Stadium, a bit of a darker stadium. I don't want to use the word creepy because I'm not trying to sound negative here, but it just a very I don't know. I thought this suits Mr. Smith and the DC Dragons. What was it? How was it? How did it feel starting the season in your home with your company's name on it and to show up for the fans like that?
Hey, it felt great. We decided to change the stadium. You wanted to, have our stadium match our team colors, and yes, it has that darker theme, because lets everyone know never underestimate the power of the dark side, and that's what we will unleash upon the SFL, the dark side. And just like we did in Season 5, we plan on winning the championship this year. No exceptions.
This is probably what's the word for it? The least brash interview you may have ever given. Are you acting overly professional just for the show tonight?
Oh, just a little bit. Now we're SFL's mainstream, and, I have to use my professional voice. I can't curse like I want to. I can't, keep it 100 like I want to. But, it's just we're in a whole new realm now, and so I have to act accordingly.
Well,
I don't want to stress you out either.
Yeah. Your team acted accordingly tonight, 1-0, 40-14. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.
This has been another edition of the SFL Postgame Show again. The final score is Tallahassee 15, Minneapolis 13, DC 40, Carolina 14, Orlando 20, OKC 17. Check out the homepage of the website tonight for box scores of these games, highlights of these games, and full game archives. And we'll see you tomorrow night on the SFL Network. I am SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine and your play-by-play commentator 3 nights a week. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Good night, everybody.